I knew it meant trouble when I agreed to do this, but not this monkey business. Hey guys, DB Rai here, back with another What If, and this time I'm doing a What If that I actually didn't expect to take off on this channel. 200 views, well, 200 views for me is taking off considering how small my channel actually is. And that is, what if Chi-Chi became a Saiyan, Part 2. I've been getting quite a few requests to actually continue this story, and apparently you guys really like the concept. So, I am back to continue it. Chi-Chi, only a month into her marriage to Goku, really wanted to understand and get to know her husband so she could have a happier marriage with him, you know, not quite understanding why he's always running off and training, getting stronger. You know, he won the World Martial Arts Tournament, defeated Piccolo for the second time. There wasn't really any need to keep training. So, but she couldn't understand it, so with Bulma's help she gathered the Dragon Balls and asked the dragon to be more like Goku. Of course, she got a lot more than what she bargained for when she suddenly sprouted a tail and her DNA transferred from human to Saiyan. Getting a Zenkai boost from the wish as well as sprouting the tail. And of course, also inheriting Goku's bump on the head, you know, so Chi-Chi stays good. Because, you know, Saiyans were, at that stage, evil by nature. So, and that gave Chi-Chi definitely a better understanding of Goku, because now, suddenly, she's into the whole training thing. In fact, the first thing she does is find her husband and has an all-out training session with him. Of course, they have their son Gohan, who is also a full-blooded Saiyan, and this ultimately led to the three of them getting stronger as a family, and by the time Raditz showed up, he just couldn't defeat Goku and Chi-Chi, along with Piccolo, with Chi-Chi and Goku distracting Raditz enough that Goku was able to grab Raditz's tail and Piccolo firing a special beam cannon and finishing off Raditz. And, well, thanks to Kami sensing the danger of the approaching Nappa and Vegeta, he's able to telepathically warn them of the danger and wanted to see Chi-Chi and Goku immediately. Of course, Kami's intention is to have Goku take the journey through Snake Way and get training from King Kai. And as for Chi-Chi, she decides she's actually going to join Piccolo and Gohan with the training, because Piccolo did actually ask permission to train up Gohan so he can get a better understanding on how the Saiyans work, as well as they're just going to need all the help they can get, and Piccolo is not going to allow these Saiyans to conquer the world he wants to conquer. No way, no one upstages Piccolo. Alright, so Chi-Chi does eventually rendezvous with Piccolo and Gohan, who are training at their wasteland. Now, I know I said this in a previous What If, but there's no survival training for Gohan because he's been training this whole time. In fact, his power level is actually a bit higher than Piccolo's at this point of the story. And Chi-Chi, who's even higher than that, Piccolo's getting a lot of training in and getting a lot of information about how Saiyans operate. And then comes that particular night. You know which particular night I'm talking about. You know when the full moon is out during Piccolo and Gohan's training in the original anime. Now remember, Chi-Chi hasn't experienced the Great Ape transformation herself this time, and Piccolo really has his hands full this time, because he's not only having to deal with a rampaging Gohan, there's a rampaging Chi-Chi. They both look at the full moon and they both experience the transformation. Remember, Goku didn't know about the Great Ape transformation because he never remembered any of the experiences when he transformed. What? These are what these Saiyans are actually capable of? If I don't do something about this, we're not going to stand a chance. Okay, what can I do to remove their tails? Special beam cannon? No, they're moving around too much. I won't be able to charge my attack. There has to be a way. And of course, Piccolo remembering what Raditz said to Goku about the full moon and their tails being the key to unlocking a Saiyan's full potential, their full power. Moon. They need to moon, and of course Piccolo blows up the moon. And and Gohan and Chi-Chi revert to their normal selves, and Piccolo having to use not one, but 2 clothes beam. Naughty monkeys. Naughty. I can see why Frieza wanted them gone. They're just troublemakers, aren't they? Alright, so with that, does Piccolo remove their tails? He was thinking about it, but he figured probably best to get Chi-Chi's permission first before he just ups and does it. After all, Chi-Chi could most likely destroy him. And as we know, Chi-Chi is just scary. We've given her Saiyan DNA, she's just even more terrifying. In fact, I think I would rather face Vegeta and Nappa than having to face her fury. And when Chi-Chi does come to, Gohan's still asleep. She decides, it's best they actually keep the tails. Because after all, how do they know that they don't have a workaround in case there is no full moon? If Gohan and Chi-Chi were to remove their tails, and if there is some sort of workaround that Nappa and Vegeta can exploit so they can still transform, that would put them in a world of hurt. At least if Chi-Chi and Gohan keep their tails, it might make Vegeta and Nappa less tempted and likely to use any sort of trick that they could use to transform into Great Apes. If there's a chance Gohan and Chi-Chi could transform into Great Apes too, and rob them of that advantage. Because remember, Chi-Chi is actually very cluey like that. She's actually very smart. So yeah, remember, Chi-Chi is actually very smart and cluey like that. And I don't think Chi-Chi would rob herself and Gohan of a possible advantage. And they're certainly not going to give up. They're certainly not going to give Nappa and Vegeta any sort of advantage whatsoever. Now meanwhile, Goku has indeed made it to King Kai's world and has received the training that he usually receives, learning the Spirit Bomb and the Kaioken. And the rest of the Dragon team, they're training with Kami and Mr. Popo, goes off per normal. Before long, Nappa and Vegeta arrive. Nappa blows up a few buildings, saying hi to the locals. And they're looking around with their scouts trying to find the highest power level. They find 3 of them in the one spot, Chi-Chi, Gohan, and Piccolo. And they arrive and, of course, Krillin shows up too. That makes 4. Oh, you know what? How many of those Cybermen do we have left? We have 6 of those, Vegeta. And of course, they plant the Cybermen. Let's see if this pretender's strong as a Cyberman. After all, Raditz couldn't even beat a Cyberman. A battle between Piccolo and the gang that's already there breaks out between the Cybermen they planted. Difference is, no one's hesitating, not even Gohan, because Gohan has been training and fighting his whole life, and the Cybermen are already on the losing side of this battle. And then, the rest of the Dragon team turn up, and Vegeta decides to have their little match, and Piccolo being all, no, we'll fight you all right now, all 8 of you. No, let's do this, we'll give more time for Goku to get here. And of course, the matches with the Cybermen play as per normal, with Tien fighting first, defeating his Cybermen, And of course Vegeta ultimately destroying that Cyberman. I specifically said, do not hold anything back. And then Krillin was going to fight his, but of course Yamcha, just like the anime, decides, no, I better do it, at least if anything happens to me, we know I can be revived. And that plays out per normal. Sorry Yamcha, yes, Yamcha gets blown up just like he does in the anime. And Krillin, of course, takes out pretty much most of the rest with his scatter shot. But of course, missing one, and the Cyberman goes straight for Gohan, but Gohan just fires an energy blast and destroys the last Cyberman. Which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Gohan, you know, being a Saiyan. It's just awesome. So now, Nappa joins into the fray with everything pretty much playing out as per normal. Tien losing his arm, Chaozu blowing himself up, and Tien giving up his life to try stop Nappa. And yeah, that's unfortunate. That's just, as you know, that's just that whole thing is just sad. It's upsetting. So Yamcha, Chaozu, and Tien are the victims in this scenario, and we got Chi-Chi, Gohan, and Piccolo giving Nappa a bit more than he bargained for in their fight. And, you know, we still got Krillin as well. But, as we know, Nappa is still quite the powerhouse, but the Dragon team is doing significantly better. And Chi-Chi, Saiyan instincts are kicking in. She's actually really getting into the fight with Nappa, who's, they're pretty equal in power just about. Nappa still being the stronger one, but yeah, Nappa is just having a lot more trouble. And this plays out, and that plays out right up until Nappa actually does manage to get some ground in, and he's getting ready to fire that fatal shot at Gohan. And Piccolo, of course, jumps in the way, ready to defend Gohan from the blast, and then Chi-Chi actually gets in front of Piccolo, putting her arms like this, ready to block it, and she takes the full front of the blast, and she actually survives it. She blocks it perfectly, and she survives it. You know, her clothing's a little singed, a couple of damage marks and dirt all over her and whatnot, but she's just standing there looking like a complete badass and just smirking at Nappa. You know, that Saiyan sort of smirk. She is into this battle. You know, that smirk that just says, "Is that all you got, Nappa? I thought you were a Saiyan elite. All that bragging you were doing." And together, Piccolo, Gohan, and Chi-Chi power up together and fire a triple Masenko at Nappa and finish off Nappa, much to Vegeta's surprise. Ugh, unbelievable! Well, really, Nappa fell in disgrace if he lost to a Namekian, a pretender, and a little brat. But he is still surprised. He's just not admitting it. And, well, before Vegeta could begin to join the fray, Goku appears. And I think that is actually where we're going to leave things for now. So tell me, what do you think of this part? Did you like what I've done with the story? Do you like what I've done with Chi-Chi as a Saiyan? Personally, I'm starting to really enjoy it. And, you know, with this, you know, this actually means that Piccolo is still alive. Piccolo survives. And Kami is still around. All because Chi-Chi is a Saiyan and joins the fray and ends up being quite an important asset to the battle. Let me know in the comments, and let's get this discussion going. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Alright, this is DB Rice signing off. There will definitely be a part 3. Make no mistake about that.